The AEC industry is rapidly changing, but your team doesn't have time to reinvent workflows for every new technology or client demand. ProjectWise, powered by iTwin, puts you in control and positions your firm for non-disruptive change. Whether you need to improve design quality, optimize existing processes, or even get started with digital delivery and digital twins, ProjectWise enables you to make the most of what you already have without starting over. Visit go.bentley.com/podcast to see how ProjectWise is empowering AEC firms to do more with less. Once again, that's go.bentley.com/podcast to learn more. Welcome to Engineering Influence, a podcast from the American Council of Engineering Companies, coming to you from our 2023 Spring Convention and Legislative Summit. And we're just getting going here. It's the day before the kickoff of our session. We've got a lot lined up for the next couple of days, and very, very pleased to first be coming to you from our sponsor, Bentley Systems, from the convention, and very also pleased to be joined by Carl Munkel. He is the head of risk management for Gresham Smith and part of of course, the risk management committee, which is meeting this convention. Carl, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Jeff, and excited to be able to talk about what we're going to be doing as a committee.
Yeah, and this is really something which I think everyone should take advantage of, the fact that the committee is an open committee. Right, it's open to anyone in ACEC who deals with issues related to risk management and risk mitigation. And the committee is going to meet this convention. What do you have on the agenda for this meeting?
Great question. And first of all, from the standpoint of members, we've got member firms, we've got brokers, we've got insurance carriers, and certainly ACEC staff. So. A great mix to talk about risk management, and a lot of people don't want to talk about risk management, but it's a kind of a necessary evil, and certainly something that we worry about. So what we try to do is work with the other committees as well to identify those things that we believe are risks, and certainly feedback from them, thinking through what things are risks. So we do actually a section on be aware and beware. And those issues are more of, what's out there in the industry, what are people seeing, what are legislative issues that are coming up. For example, there's a House bill right now that's trying to disallow the use of DJI drones. Well, a lot of member firms use those drones, right? So we want to be instrumental in talking about those and what can we do to address those issues.
You raise a good point, because when you think about risk management, a lot of people go to the traditional issues related to risk management, contracts and the like, but we mentioned DJI drones, and that's a good example of how a lot of the things that are happening in Washington, for good or bad, for better or worse, they're usually tied to, headlines, right? You have China, of course, DJI, bills in the House that are messaging bills that are focused mainly on, we have to stop the use of Chinese drones in the consumer market. That's DJI, without that greater realization of what they're used for in the commercial space. In our industry, it's used for inspections. It's a greater use of drones to actually carry out engineering services, inspections, and the like. So those are those kind of issues that are popping up. Are there any other issues like that you're seeing that are coming up that are kind of out of left field and not really traditional?
Sure. A great issue is artificial intelligence. I mean, what's going on with ChatGPT? How will it affect design industry firms? Where is that headed? restrictions. What should firms think about in terms of their own internal policies, as well as threats and opportunities both.
Yeah, it's amazing how all these worlds seem to be colliding at once. We set up a technology committee to kind of look at those technologies and what's the impact going to be, the future impact, how do you take advantage of them. But at the same time, you have the risk management committee over here that's looking at, okay, great, those technologies are being used, but what is the impact on your business? What's the potential exposure for risk and liability with your firm and your business? Of course, also as the kind of cap off of this event, I was talking to our general counsel, Charles Kim. He's going to be cloistered in the legal counsel forum for 3 days, where he's going to be locked in. I mean, you do also cross work with the legal counsel forum, correct? I mean, talking about these issues.
We do, and Charles is actually the director of from ACEC staff for our committee, so he can bring to bear anything that the legal committee has need of getting out to a broader, group of people. Yeah. And certainly, we're not all attorneys in our group, and so it's
mix?
A wide open.
Yeah. What's the mix that you find?
Yeah, it's a wide open mix. I would say that it is probably the majority. I would say are member firms that are there and present, as well as carriers and brokers. So we get a wide variety of input, and each group is also represented and works with other industry groups. Yeah. So that kind of coalesces into a good mix of what's going on in the industry.
Yeah. I would ask, because it's something that we're trying to do is we talk about member engagement. And of course, a strategic objective of ours is a more engaged, vibrant membership. And of course, that means membership and activity within committees. So what would you tell someone out there who is at a firm that might not be engaged with the risk management committee as the reason to join, then be part of the conversation?
Yeah. Well, I always say internally that risk awareness is so crucial to being able to mitigate. You can't mitigate a risk unless you know about it. And so knowing not only what we're currently faced with, but what's coming down the pipe in terms of other things. The Risk Management Committee is a great opportunity to hear those things, and we would love to have individual experience from member firms. But if they choose not to participate, they will hear what other firms are dealing with. And the beauty of it is, Jeff, we have a wide variety of member firms. They could be small firms, they could be very large. I happen to work for Gresham Smith, which is a larger firm, and we do a fair amount of large engineering projects. But the risks are evident regardless of project size or the firm size.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's definitely a good reason for people to explore becoming members, because even if you're not a member of the Risk Management Committee, the work that you guys are doing in the committee does affect the membership, and you do benefit from it. But by being part of the committee, you actually have a voice in the process.
Absolutely.
What you actually come out with.
And the committee offers white papers. One of the things right in Engineering Inc. in the first issue of 2023 was the professional liability renewal process, and great information about something that is a significant cost to all member firms.
And all the POI surveys historically that we have up on the website that go back many years. That's a member benefit, and thankfully, actually, I do want to point this out because we just launched a new website, the new ACEC.org, and there is a risk management page that specifically handles all of those different things. So we cover, it's easily accessible for all the POI surveys, all the indemnification and duty to defend videos that we just did, and just general information about risk management and a post to the Risk Management Committee. So we encourage everybody to go up on the new site, check it out, and also take a look at the committee page, because you can view the roster and you can look at the goals and kind of what's going on with that. So I do hope that everybody goes up on the website. Carl, is there anything else going on that you want to kind of make sure that we know before we wrap up?
Well, we've kind of covered our some of the things that we're going to talk about in our agenda, but I really want to emphasize, Jeff, the importance of developing relationships
Yeah.
with other member firms and people that are in your peer groups. And I've often referred to this kind of engagement as therapy,
Yeah.
because we're all dealing with the same things.
Yes.
And it's a huge benefit to know that, and to see somebody of a similar sized firm, and hey, ask them, how do you handle this particular risk?
Yeah.
And so I think it's a great opportunity, and we would love to have more participation, not only at the national level, but there's also state committees
Yes.
that do risk management focus as well.
Absolutely, and that's I think a great way to wrap it up. It's the fact that it's that information sharing that you don't get anywhere else, because everybody's in the same boat, and everybody might be dealing with a little bit of different issue, but largely it's the same issues.
Absolutely.
And being able to share that information, talk about it, talk it out, therapy, figure out ways ahead and fixing things. So it's fantastic. Well, Carl, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope that you have a great convention.
Great.
Number one, and I hope that everybody out there goes on acec.org and checks out risk management resources and the risk management committee, because it's definitely a great committee to be a part of. And this has been Engineering Influence, podcast from the American Council of Engineering Companies, brought to you by Bentley Systems. We'll see you next time.